So conflicts are inherently about a mismatch of needs or wants, where something you need or something you expect is not what I am able to deliver, or vice versa. The role of privilege and bias in creating that conflict often can be that we have a mismatch of understanding or a mismatch of power in the situation. So someone who has more privilege may not recognize that a conflict's happening, or may not recognize a way in which they are exhibiting bias toward a coworker. The more you can develop your own awareness about the privilege and the perspective that you bring to the conflict, the more likely you're going to be able to collaborate with the person to solve it. We all come to a conflict making assumptions about what's going on, why someone behaves. We often do that through our own lens, through our own cultural lens, or through our own privilege lens. So we don't give people the option to have their own perspective on the situation. We sort of layer our own bias and privilege on it. We have to recognize when we're doing that. We have to question, am I seeing this in this way because I am a white woman? Am I seeing this because I grew up in a middle-class family? Am I seeing this way because of who I am and the way I was raised? And how could someone from a different cultural background, a different experience, see this in a different way? We often label behaviors that we see as problematic as, difficult. That person's being difficult or unreasonable. But what's unreasonable to one person can be very reasonable. And almost always someone has a very rational reason for why they're behaving the way they do. And it's your job to think through, what could that reason be? You may not know, so then you have to also develop curiosity. How can I get past my own privilege, get past my own bias, to ask the questions, why are you behaving the way you are? What's important to you? What matters to you? And how can we align to get through this conflict? We have a responsibility in a conflict to be curious about the other person and what's going on for them. So instead of making assumptions that their behavior is not appropriate or that it's difficult, you might ask, what do you care most about this situation? What have you been thinking about this situation? What assumptions have you made about the way this has been carried out? And that's going to help you start to solve the situation, to help you see the underlying issues, and to both raise your implicit assumptions and bias that you bring to the situation.